Okay, so in this video, let's talk a little bit about the science and what's the physiological effects on the body when we are meditating. So one of the best books that just explains it really easily, really simply, easy to read, is a book called The Relaxation Response by Dr. Benson. And in this book, he wrote it in the 70s, 80s, I believe. And this is when Western medicine was becoming interested in the effects of meditation. So he was one of the first medical doctors and researchers to go and stick electrodes on meditators' heads and start measuring what was going on in the brain, but also in the body. And in this book, he plainly states what's going on. And it's a really fascinating read and really recommend it for anyone who's interested more in that scientific approach. But I'm just going to summarize quickly what he discovered and what is becoming more and more evident to those when we meditate. So basically, when we look at the brainwave activity, they've worked out that there's 4 prime states of brainwave activity that the human experiences most often. So if you think of the brain and the nervous system as kind of like an electrical pulsing system, so the brain is in various different states of activity. So the most active state is called beta state. The next one's called alpha, the next one's called theta, and the next one's delta. So they found out that the highest, most active state, the beta state, is what most of us are in when we're awake. So when we're kind of in that conscious, active mode, and we're in this state when we're sort of a bit stressed out, we're kind of making decisions on the fly, when we're trying to think and process things, when we're trying to study, most of the time we're in this kind of heightened brainwave activity state. It's not conducive for meditation, that particular state, because the next state, which is alpha state, is a bit of a slower brainwave activity. And this state is more associated with relaxation, creativity. Meditation is much more in this space here. Developed intuition and things like this. So we've got beta, which is highly strung kind of person. This is what most people are in most of the time. Then we've got alpha, which is more relaxed, more intuitive. And essentially this is where meditation is kind of sitting in. So those people who meditate more often and those people who can sort of relax easier tend to be more in alpha and less in beta. But we're sort of oscillating in and out throughout the day. The next one is called theta waves, and this is more associated with sleeping. So we only really touch this space when we're asleep or in really deep states of meditation. When often, when you're sleeping, and is that you don't really have a conscious awareness of your body. So similarly, when you're in deep meditation, you sort of lost connection or lost the association with having such a physical, dense body. So this is theta waves. Excuse me. And then the last one is delta waves. So delta is pretty much an unconscious state of being. So very deep levels of sleep, and but this is also a state that is really helpful for cellular regeneration. So the body enhanced physical healing. So there's a lot of activity going on, but as far as the mind and consciousness is concerned, or conscious activity, it's pretty much gone. But these sort of deeper biological rhythms are more in place in this delta state. So basically when we're meditating, we're moving into alpha state, which is more relaxed and more intuitive, more creative, and less in beta. Also, the next connection is that there's the parasympathetic nervous system, which is more associated with a relaxed rest and digest state. And then you've got the sympathetic nervous system, which is more associated with fight or flight. So you could say that the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight, is connected to beta waves, so fast activity waves. So fight or flight, running around crazy. And then you've got the lower states like alpha and theta waves, which are more connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest, relaxation. So basically, meditation, what it's doing is that it helps us to move out of beta, highly strung, active state into a more relaxed, regenerative state, intuitive state. And the beauty of it is that when we're awake, when we're conscious in our daily life, we can actually be in these lower, but potentially higher states of function. And one of the other benefits of these alpha states and parasympathetic is that you actually learn much better when you're relaxed. So when you can meditate often and be more relaxed, is that you're just at a higher function. We want to avoid being in this beta state too much too often, but that's where most people are, and that's what a lot of our culture actually wants us to be, in that crazy kind of heightened state. So that's kind of a quick overview of what's going on, especially in the brainwave patterns, is that we're just training ourselves to move down towards alpha more often. And that just naturally enhances all aspects of our lives. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.